Imagine standing in a place where fire burns from the ground, not because of a match or a flame, but because the earth itself is on fire and has been for over 5,000 years. There's no smoke alarm, no evacuation, just a quiet hill in Azerbaijan, where flames flicker endlessly from cracks in the rock. They call it Yanardag. The burning mountain, and locals walk past it like it is just another Tuesday. But to the unprepared traveler, it feels like stepping into a forgotten myth. These moments, these strange pockets of truths are everywhere, hiding in the folds of our planet like pages in a secret book. And once you know they exist, it changes how you see the world. You start to realize that what is called reality is often weirder than fiction and far more magical than we led to believe. Once, like someone whispering through the stars and then disappearing forever. It's enough to make you wonder, how often do we miss things because they only happen once? But here's where it gets eerie. Any bird that lands in it? And it reminds us that nature doesn't need to exaggerate to astonish. It just needs to be seen. It's called the Hudson Bay Anomaly, and it's one of the few places on Earth where gravity is measurably less. Yes, gravity is weaker there. There are questions left on our doorstep by the universe. Scientists believe it may be due to a missing chunk of Earth's mass deep underground, or the way the land is still rebounding from ancient glaciers. But no one fully agrees. It's like the Earth is lighter in that one spot, as if something is missing, or was taken. And stepping inside without protection could kill you in minutes. Turns to stone. Where mammals shrink and birds forget how to fly, we realize even the laws of physics, which feel so fixed and predictable, have wrinkles, shadows, exceptions. Not literally, of course. The animals fossilize instantly, but the chemical makeup of the lake preserves their bodies so perfectly. Looks like they've been turned into statues by some ancient curse. Flamingos still nest near it, dancing along the shores of this deadly mirror, somehow untouched. That maybe, just maybe, the real world is stitched together with threads of the absurd, the poetic, and the impossible. But would you believe that the Sahara was once green? Not just patches of oases, but a lush, vibrant savanna with flowing rivers and hippos basking in the mud to the sky above us. It came from deep space, and for a brief moment, it made the hair on scientists' necks stand up. The man who discovered it circled the printout and wrote just one word next to it. Asterisk, wow? Ancient cave paintings tucked inside the Tassili Adger Mountains show swimmer's asterisk.
Asterisk.
People swimming asterisk in places that today are nothing but scorched rock. This wasn't a short-lived phase either. For thousands of years, the Sahara was alive, fertile, wet, and then, almost like a spell cast in reverse, it dried up. Today, we're diving into a collection of truths so bizarre, so unbelievable, you might instinctively reject them. And yet they're all real, not legends, not hoaxes, just overlooked facts that remind us how little we actually know about the world we walk on. Take, for instance, the Sahara Desert. Most people picture it as the eternal land of sand, where the sun blazes and time stands still. The idea that an ocean of sand was once a garden, it stirs something deep, doesn't it? A reminder that even the harshest landscapes have a hidden memory. And that change, radical, unimaginable changes, always closer than we think. But let's shift now, from burning hills and drowned deserts. In 1977, a radio signal was picked up by the Big Ear radio telescope in Ohio. A 72-second burst, strange, as powerful and never repeated. To this day, the asterisk, wow, signal asterisk has never been fully explained. No natural origin, no repeated signal. It was just there. And yet, even here on Earth, we don't have to look to space for things that feel like science fiction. There's a lake in Tanzania, Lake Natron, so alkaline, so reflective it looks like a portal to another dimension. Its beauty and death suspended together like two sides of the same coin. And speaking of what's seen and not seen, consider this. There's a spot in Canada where compasses go haywire. Birds migrate off course, and the northern lights dance in strange, unexpected shapes. And just like that, these are not just trivia. The more you dig, the more you start to feel it. A trembling under the surface of what we think we know, but we're only getting started. Because what if I told you there's a cave in Mexico where crystals grow taller than giraffes? Or that there are islands where animals evolve in reverse? Or that buried beneath Antarctic ice, something is bleeding, literally pouring red water from the ice like an open wound? Let's keep going. The strangeness is far from over. Let's descend, for a moment, into the earth, not metaphorically, but quite literally. Deep beneath the blistering heat of the Mexican desert, in a place called Nika, there is a cavern that looks like it was carved by giants or dreamed by a feverish god. Towering crystals, some over 30 feet long, erupt from the walls like frozen bolts of lightning. It's called the Cave of Crystals, and stepping inside is like entering the lungs of the planet. The air is thick, so thick with heat and humidity that no human can survive in it for more than a few minutes, without a special cooling suit. And yet the crystals grew slowly, silently, for 500,000 years, undisturbed by even a whisper of human breath. What kind of world is this, where time stretches like syrup and beauty grows in darkness, unseen? Sometimes it seems like nature guards her strangest miracles, not with doors or chains, but with temperatures, poisons, and silence. And still, humans stumble upon them by accident or fate. Everything looks familiar at first, until it doesn't. The trees twist into impossible shapes. The rocks seem to breathe. A rust-colored stream pours from beneath the frozen wall, staining the snow like a wound that never heals. For years, scientists believed it was algae, but it isn't. It's iron-rich water from a subglacial lake sealed off for millions of years. What does it say about the limits we place on biology, or even reality? It wasn't the rain, it was what fell with it. Fish, dozens of them, falling from the sky. Flopping on the streets, collected in buckets by stunned villagers, it still surprises. It still refuses to be tamed. No oxygen, no sunlight, and still, there's life in it. Something we've always known to be the fastest thing in the universe halted. Scientists suspect it's caused by waterspouts tornadoes. Over water sucking up small sea creatures and dropping them miles away. Space, gravity. We spend so much of our lives tuned into the headlines. The chaos, the endless buzz. And yet, we haven't even scratched the surface. But in that chamber, you're reminded that reality is deeper, stranger, and more alive than we give it credit for. Secrets that suggest maybe we were never meant to know everything. Light. All the things we trust to be constant aren't, but still picture it. A quiet afternoon, then a storm, then fish falling from the clouds. It sounds biblical. Step inside, and you'll hear nothing. Not even yourself. I think it's the quietest place on Earth. So quiet, most people can't stand it for more than a few minutes. They start hearing their own heartbeat, the grind of their joints, the pulsing of blood in their ears. Feels like a glitch in the sky. Microorganisms that thrive in the dark, feeding on minerals and doing just fine without the rules the rest of us live by. And the animals, well, they don't act quite like animals you've ever seen. This is Socotra, often called the most alien place on Earth. Now imagine stepping onto an island in the Indian Ocean. Almost a third of its plant. Life exists nowhere else. The dragon's blood tree, with its umbrella-like limbs, bleeds a deep red sap when cut like something from ancient folklore. In the midst of all that strangeness, they carve a life from the rocks and wind, coexisting with plants that look like they might speak when no one's listening. Sometimes it just means undiscovered. The air smells strange. The landscape is surreal. It's as if evolution here took a sharp left turn, wandered off the main path, and never looked back. Some are eerie, disturbing, and yet humans live there, have for thousands of years. It reminds us that alien doesn't always mean distant. But not all mysteries are as beautiful. Off the coast of Antarctica, beneath a glacier known as Taylor Glacier, something happens that no textbook can prepare you for. The ice bleeds. Life finds a way. But what does it mean when life survives in places we thought were lifeless? And while we're on the edge of the surreal, consider this. In 2013, a small town in Sri Lanka experienced something strange during a monsoon. It's not the only time this has happened. Maybe that's the lesson hiding in all of this, that our world, no matter how well mapped or studied, still glitches. In a laboratory in France, researchers once froze light, not metaphorically. They slowed photons, literal beams of light, till they stopped. motionless, trapped in a crystal. It didn't break the laws of physics. It revealed how strange they truly are. Time. And what about sound? There's a place in the United States, an isolated chamber in Minnesota, where sound goes to die. Silence becomes a roar. Even here, in the realm of the ordinary, lies the extraordinary. So far, we've walked on fire, swum through deserts, listened to stars, and touched silence. Because in our final chapter, we'll look at the truths that feel the most impossible. The ones that seem to wink at us from between the cracks of history and science. Somewhere in the highlands of Indonesia, on the island of Flores, archaeologists uncovered a cave that should have just held ancient tools or forgotten bones. But what they found shattered expectations. A new kind of human, tiny, barely over 3 feet tall, with a brain 1/3 the size of ours. And yet, they walked upright, they made tools, they hunted. They were real. They lived as recently as 50,000 years ago, and no one had any idea they existed until 2003. They named them Homo floresiensis, but the world came to know them by a more haunting name, the Hobbits. These were not myths. How many other branches of humanity have vanished without a trace? How many other stories of us are buried beneath layers of dirt and time? And here's something even stranger. Some local villagers on Flora still whisper that small people live in the forests. It's not extinct, it's hidden. And it drifts silently through the sea as if it doesn't realize how miraculous it is. You begin to feel the line between legend and history blur. When injured or old, it doesn't die, it reverts. It transforms its own cells and begins its life cycle all over again. A kind of biological reincarnation. But sometimes, it's not the deep past that unnerves us. It's the near impossible present. It exists. In the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan, a fiery crater burns nonstop. Not a volcano, not a natural fire. It began in 1971 when a Soviet drilling rig accidentally collapsed into a natural gas cavern. A pit of fire in the middle of the desert, roaring like something out of myth. Locals say the ground rumbles near it. Tourists say it feels like standing on the edge of another world. Fearing the gas would poison nearby towns, they lit it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few weeks. A bristlecone pine, standing silently in the White Mountains of California. It's over 4,800 years old. It's seen civilizations rise and fall, entire languages disappear, and still it stands, wind-battered, gnarled, unbending. And no one, after hundreds of years, can explain it. To ask, what else don't I know? What invisible marvels lie just outside the corners of our awareness? There's a jellyfish, Toratopsis dorni, known not for its sting, but for its secret. In a world obsessed with immortality, this tiny, transparent creature may already hold the secret. A book made of unknown symbols, diagrams of strange plants that don't exist, and drawings of nude women in surreal bathtubs? You wonder, if light can be frozen, if fish can fall from the sky. If humans once shared Earth with hobbits, then what else might be true? For centuries, no one has been able to read a single word. Codebreakers, linguists, AI, it defies them all. Tell them about the blood that seeps from Antarctic ice. About the desert that remembers being green. About the book no one can read. And the jellyfish that refuses to die. Maybe it does. The curious. The wanderers. The ones who look a little longer. Who ask the questions no one else thinks to ask. There are stories that seem built to make us question everything. Like the mystery of the Voynich manuscript. Let's keep the wonder alive together. Who wrote it? Why? And what does it say? There's more where this came from. Some believe it's a lost language. Others think it's a hoax. But one fact remains. It's real. Sometimes, truth doesn't just sound fake. Kit wants to stay hidden. The real world is written in riddles and carved in places most people never look. And then there's the infamous door to hell. It still burns. For over 50 years now, the flames have never stopped. How many other accidental wonders has humanity sparked thinking we understood nature only to create something eternal? And speaking of eternity, did you know there's a tree older than the pyramids? Think about that. A living thing older than writing, older than the concept of time itself as we know it. It's not just facts that make your jaw drop, it's the way they force you to look inward. Because here, the quiet truth behind all these impossible facts. The world is not what it seems. It's stranger, more fragile, more alive. Every law of science, every history textbook, every map, they're all just rough drafts. And when you begin to notice that, the world changes. You stop brushing off weird stories. You start seeing meaning in patterns. You question the ordinary. Maybe the most dangerous illusion isn't believing in myths. It's believing there are no more mysteries left. So the next time someone tells you the world is boring or predictable or already figured out, remind them that truth is often stranger than the wildest imagination. And maybe, just maybe, it always has been. If you've made it this far, you're one of us now. Leave a comment with the strangest true thing you've ever learned, or a mystery you've ever been able to forget. And if you want more journeys into the hidden corners of our world, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Until next time, stay curious, stay strange.